What's up, guys? Today I just wanted to make a video on controller roll, more in-depth, comprehensive. It's going to go pretty deep in detail. This is just everything I've learned over the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months. I've had a few people help me out, and I've just kind of progressively gotten better and started figuring things out to a point now where I feel like I can explain it pretty easily to someone who doesn't know anything about it. So this is more of an informative video if you were thinking about trying this out yourself, or sending it to a friend because they wanted to do it, or maybe you were just kind of curious as to how it looked and everything that went into it. So to start off here, I guess we will do skill points first. So for buff trolling, you're always going to want to pick super powered just because of the power. The power, you get the 10% power, and then the 25% power regen. Obviously those are huge. Those are really helpful. Is the best option for you. And then obviously, you get your critical power, chance, and magnitude here. And then you're going straight into health, because as a buff troll, the two most important buffs you give work off how much health you have. So you want to max out health, and then lasso. You don't need this, but if you have an extra skill point, definitely get it. Same with hard light shield. You don't need it, but if you have a spare skill point, grab it. This you don't need. This is trash. Don't use that. And then obviously get your super speed and spec into your weapons. I use brawling weapon mastery. And then with the rest of your skill points you got, put those into vitalization, because you don't want to do anything with dominance. That messes the tanks up. Everyone hates you if you mess up their add stun rotations and all that. Don't put anything into dominance. You don't need to be stunning anything. Rest into vitalization. And that is pretty much the skill point setup for buff trolls. Next we'll get into augments and gear mods. So we'll do the augments first. So you always want to be running the dominance augs because they give you the most amount of health. As a buff troll, obviously you want the most amount of health you can get because your two most important buffs work off of how much health you have. It's a good idea to have some vital augs on standby, just in case, you just get a group that's really power hungry. What you could do is you could just put one in, the big ones, and then the small ones, just pop two in. That way you still got, Dom augs for health. And these have health too, they just don't have as much as Dom. But they'll help you out with power if you absolutely need it. And then the gear mods. Let me see. For your head, you want the supercharged super, whatever power you are. For quantum, it's event horizon. Gadgets, it's battle drone. Mental, it's bastion. Munitions is active protective system, and hard light is group shield. So the neck, replenishing procs, that's really good, need that. Your back, that's whatever, there's nothing specific. Your chest, you definitely need hardy, that increases your health by 5%. And again, as a buff troll, you want to have the most health that you can have possible. And then your hands, you don't really, it doesn't matter. Face mask, you're going to want to use health, again because you're a buff troll, so you're going to want as much health as you can. And then for your affinity bonuses, again, health. So for your generator, Again, you're going to want to run health and everything. You need as much health as you can get as a buff troll. And then obviously for your support, you're going to run vitalization. And then, you know, if you're might, run might. If you're precision, run precision. And then for your affinities, as I said earlier, you want health. So getting into the next thing, that's going to be allies. Unfortunately, allies do play a part in, you know, how you troll and all that. So the ones I would say are worth getting are Death Metal Batman for sure, Nubia, Cyborg, he's okay. I wouldn't. You probably already have him for DPS, so you can use him. Black Adam for sure. Zod, if you got extra ally favor left over, he's not that great, but he helps. And yeah, those are the ones I would say you absolutely need. So let me go through and kind of explain your combat ally. I usually just use Crypto. You can use Death Metal Batman as your combat ally. He puts debuffs out when you call him in. And remember, debuff stack, so you can use him for that. I don't like to use him for that. I like to use him for this one right here, which is when you hit an enemy with a debuff, he drops a power pool that restores 20% of, you know, people's power over time, and obviously that will go up to, I think, 30% whenever I upgrade him one more time to make him level 10. So that's what I use, and what that kind of looks like is, let's see, just use all my power here, if it'll let me. So your power pool drops and it just throws you a bunch of POTs like that, and it does it to everyone standing in it. So as long as these musical notes are going, you're still getting power. Even when the field goes away, those little notes are still popping, you're still getting power. And then this is for bosses. I have another ally set up for ads I'll show you here in a second, but I've been messing around with Black Adam lately, and I really like him for this one right here. It says supercharge generator abilities generate 20% more supercharge. So that kind of works in sync with BOP, since they just made it a supercharge generator. And then also you can run an actual supercharge generator in your loadout. And like I was saying earlier, you definitely do not want to stun ads ever, so this is why it's perfect for a boss build, because you have two supercharge generators. So that's just gonna, I'll show you actually while we're waiting. I'm just gonna use a super, and you'll kind of be able to see just how quickly you can build super with this. And then, you know, whoever you want in your combat, we'll just put Crypto, because we're usually bosses or single targets, so we'll just put Crypto. And you know, Crypto, he just, you know, does single target damage for a few seconds and flies off. So we'll put in Scrap too to show you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use BOP and then the actual supercharge generator to kind of show you how quickly it builds. And you can see in the top left corner. And you also should keep in mind, this is just me doing this by myself. Any good group's gonna have two healers that are dropping EOG spam supercharge for the group. So I made a video on this already. It's pretty much impossible to run out of supercharge as a troll if you're running this. So that's kind of what I've been doing with it. I'm more focused on my buffs than anything else, but I do have, you know, Batman here for when we, you know, it just helps with power when he drops the pools, and then I do have Black Adam in here for the supercharges that give back a ton of power as well. That way, you know, if my Vite augments are not doing it, you know, I'm still dropping power pools and I'm still pumping out supercharges like there's no tomorrow. So I haven't been in a group yet where power's really been an issue, unless someone was just, just trolling me and they're just spamming everything the whole time, just trying to mess with me. But other than that, there's not really a group I've been in where power has been an issue with this setup on bosses. So that's personally why I think it's the best right now. But we'll go into the add ally setup now, and I'll tell you why I have it this way. So adds, I just have Harley because she targets everything in the room and she doesn't miss. So for adds, I have Zod and Nubia. So Zod, it gives your team a small might and precision buff whenever you activate a recharge, and Nubia, she gives actually a pretty substantial precision buff to the group when an ad dies. She gives a small might buff, but the precision buff, 4% precision, it's pretty good. So she's good for running, or both of these are good for running on ads, or like when a boss that spawns ads a lot. You can constantly proc Nubia with the ads dying to give that 4% precision buff and that 2% might buff. So that's what I run on ads. Obviously with Tetra here, it's going to be a little different because you have to activate a superpower to activate Tetra, and we're not running a supercharge generator on ads because it stuns them. So to activate Tetra on ads, I'm just showing you 150 might. You pop that in. You use Warp Barrage. Any move that does damage, you want to make sure it doesn't CC. So use Warp Barrage to activate Tetra. Oops. And it takes you up to 183. So you got your Tetra buff, and you didn't CC any of the ads, so the tank doesn't hate you. But in my opinion right now, that's just the best ally setup for ads and for single target. So starting out here, we'll start with the artifacts. I've broken this up into three different tiers. So this will be tier 1, these arts will be tier 2, and these will be tier 3. So these are kind of sorted on relevancy. The top one being you absolutely need these. The second row being you need these to be a better buff troll, and then the third row, these are just extra buffs to make your buffs even stronger. So we'll kind of start from the top and work our way down. We'll explain each one as we go. So to be the very basic form of a buff troll, you need Claw, you need Cog, and you need Amulet. Claw, it's a small might buff, and it's also a crit buff. Cog, that's a precision buff to your group as well. And Amulet, this makes your debuff stronger, makes them 50% stronger, and you debuff 8 enemies in total. So you debuff the one you're targeting plus an additional 7, so 8 in total. So these three right here are what you need to run to be this is just the bare essentials right here. So for Quantum, which is what I am right now, a loadout would kind of look like this. If you can help it, that's why Quantum is the best. This is one of the reasons, is because they have debuffs that don't CC ads. So in typical, loadout like this with the bare essentials, you would run a defense debuff and then a damage output. You can swap that out for a healing debuff if you need to, but you would run your defense, your group power heal, another debuff of your choice, I guess, Heartlight Shield, tunneling, and group shield. So basic rotation for tier 1 would be you activate Claw, and then you're going to activate Cog, the weapon mastery, and then you do a debuff, and that activates Amulet. So I mean, really all together you can do it all at once. You can go weapon mastery, clipped into a debuff, clipped into recharge. That activates all of them. So Amulet, Claw, and Cog are going right now. right here under current effects, we have Cog going, Claw, and we have, oh, that's an Omega. So we have Cog and Claw going right now, and the buffs just wore off, so we're going to kind of look at our stats here. We're at 150k might and 85k prec, and 26% critical weapon damage and 6% critical weapon chance. So these two are going to go up. The precision's going to go up and the might's going to go up. So activate everything. We went from 150 might to 159 might. Went from 85 to 121. And we went from 26 to 31 and from 6 to 11 on the crit percentages. This kind of goes with tier 1, the supply drop here. This is just a very basic tool you can use. Just because you're not able to continuously throw recharge because of claw, this takes your ability to continuously throw recharge away. I mean, you can still do it, but all you're doing is just reactivating claw, and it's not good at all. So your group will probably be out of power at some point. This is why it's hard for, very basic buff trolls to get into groups, because they can put the very minimum amount of buffs, but they can't really, keep anybody powered. That's why supply drop's kind of good to run if you get the bare necessities. Let's say someone's out of power and you can't just sit here and throw recharge because of claw, and you don't have a group shield or something, so you can just pop on over to them, drop it on their feet. They get the damage buff, they get the power, all that stuff. So that's why that's good to have for, I guess you'd call it tier 1 buff troll. Okay, so going to tier 2, things get a little bit more hectic with the arts. So for tier 2, I would strongly recommend BOP Comlink. What this does is it allows you to apply all 3 debuffs with one move, and it also acts as a supercharge generator. The second art is Parasites. This does 2 different things. This buffs precision very slightly. You don't really use it for the buff to precision, but what you do use it for is the buff to the power pool that it gives your group. So if you have power hungry people like Gadgets, DPSs, and healers who spam, when you activate Parasites, this buffs their power pool, so it makes them have a lot more power. That's mainly what it's used for. Like I said, the precision buff is just not that great on it. Going to the next one is Tetra. This is a might buff. So at this point, Claw gives a might buff, and then Tetra does too, so you'd be giving out 2 might buffs. And then Scrap. This is just for supercharges. Whenever you want to pop a group shield, you want to just throw this on, pop your group shield, and then take it right back off. And then P-Stone. I'm still waiting for Devil to level this up, but fully level 200, you drop this, and it makes your supply drop field way bigger, and people pretty much have unlimited power for the duration the circle's out. So this is really good to have. And then the little trinkets here. The Heartbreak trinket. It says it gives you 246 might. That's not why we're using it. We're using it because it also debuffs things, and the debuffs stack. So you can throw a debuff, and then this thing can throw a debuff as well, and they will stack together. So that's just more debuffs on the ads or the boss for your team to hit harder. And then the OMAC trinket. This gives you a very small amount of health. And this is good because the buffs you give work off how much health you have. So let me move this supply drop over here. So with this kind of changes our artifact setup here. So we'll take these off. Now BOP is going to go in. This is going to be an artifact that you never have to swap, and so is Amulet. And so now with BOP, we're going to go ahead and this is the move it gives you Bird Blitz. This is all 3 of your debuffs in one. It lasts 6 seconds and is also a supercharge generator. So we have these 2 arts in right here. You don't ever have to swap these out once they're in. And then this is where we're gonna kind of start swapping arts. You want to have claw on the bottom. You always want to have that in the bottom, never anywhere else. Claw always needs to go in the bottom. We'll move these over here. Alright, so we'll focus on these right here. We don't really need any explanation for scrap because that's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you have a supercharge, you put scrap in, you pop your super, you take it right back out. The reason for that is the head mod. You get 5% supercharge back when you pop a supercharge, and then with this as well, you get 7% back when you pop a supercharge, and they do stack. So that's the reason you're just getting a ton of supercharge back when you put scrap in for that. So back into the arts. We have claw in right now. You activate claw, and then you activate tetra, and then you activate cog, and then you activate parasites. So what that would look like is, and also these 2 right here, these 2 buffs, these work off of how much health you have. So the more health you have, the more of a buff you'll give out, the stronger your buff you're going to be giving out to your team. So earlier when we had just had claw on, we went from 150 to 159, and then with cog we went from, what was it? It was 85 to 99, I believe. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on these buffs right here. Actually, with recharge, I think we went up to 120 something. Let's see right now, actually. Okay, we went up to 121. Okay, so we'll wait for the cog buff to go away, and then we'll pop everything and we'll look at how much they went up with the extra arts in. So might's 150, precision's 82. So we'll pop claw, swap that out for tetra, pop tetra, swap tetra out for cog, pop cog, swap cog out for parasites, and then we'll look at our stats here. So we went from 150 to 185, and from 85 to 124. So just based off that, we went up 3k prec from the 121, and we went up, 159 to 192. Okay, so we went up like 40k for the might. Cool. Okay, so that's kind of what level 2 looks like. You know, whenever you get down to parasites, this is also a very, like I said, a very small precision buff, but it's mainly used for the power. Oh, that reminds me. Let's see that. So we're sitting at 275 power, 275k, and with parasites, it's when you hit an enemy with a debuff, you give power equal to 10% of your bit, and you give precision equal to 1.6% of your bit. And that stacks for each debuff used. So you can use 3 debuffs at once. So 1.67 times 3 is what you're going to be giving out based off your bit as a perk buff. So let's see. We'll look at the perk buff too, just for. We're at 275 power and we're at 82 perk. So we use parasites. We went from 275 power to 310. We went from 85 to 88. So 3k buff, and I don't know. That's a pretty significant buff. On power, so that helps a lot with you know, people who are power hungry as well. Alright, so getting into the tier 3 buff troll, it's these 3 arts. You probably already have this for your DPS. I'll explain that in a minute. But rings, entwined rings, this is a health buff to your whole group. This is when you use a group recharge. It gives you health equal to 20% of your bit, so this further buffs your health. And then the Lustal Refractor, this is a tank art, but we can also take advantage of its effects. So whenever we use a pool, it gives people, you and your group, health equal to 19, almost 20% of your dominance. Now we're bringing these two arts into play with everything else, and then Strat. This is good for, again, if you have a really power hungry group and Parasites is still not doing it, you can put Strat on. It has a chance to proc Tactical Advantage, and when you proc Tactical Advantage and Troll Roll, it applies a power over time, a power heal critical, so a crit POT, which helps out with power if you really need it. So and then the head. So this is another thing. This is you can get an extra head. I still have a mental mod in there. So what you do is you take this extra headpiece and you run a supercharged, whatever your power supercharge is, and then you take another mod and put it in your your normal head of your finisher or another move, energized, whatever. It works hand in hand with the finisher because of the Batman Who Laughs ally if you're going to use Toxic Encore, which is, we'll go over that later, but we'll use that for example. Let's put the finisher on. Energy Expulsion. Okay, so put Energy Expulsion in your head, and now whenever you're going through your rotations and stuff, you use Energy Expulsion. It triggers that head mod to return 3% of your power when you use that move. But the amount of supercharge you get back from scrap is just too good. So that's the reason we have another head mod or another helmet. So what you would do in that situation is, you already procced Energy Expulsion, you're getting ready to pop a super. Along with popping scrap, you're also going to put that helmet in just for that supercharge. You're going to pop your supercharge and then take it right back off both of them. You're taking advantage of two different head mods, the Energy Expulsion and the supercharge one. So that's why I say this is like tier 3, I guess, all of these. So the way we would go about this is when all the arts come into play right here. Everything like the trinket belt, all that stuff, everything comes into play. So what you would do is step by step, before a fight, you're getting ready to start the fight, you activate claw, and then you put rings on. In order to activate this, you just throw a recharge that buffs your health even more, and then you swap that out and put Delustal on. To activate this, all you have to do is hit a pull, up to 628 health, and then you'll go down and pop your buffs. So we'll just activate those 3 buffs before we start the fight here, and then the fight starts. Tetra, Cog, Parasites, swap that out for Strat, and then you just recharge until Claw goes away like just now, and then you reactivate Claw, Tetra, Cog, Parasites, Strat, recharge until Claw goes away, except this time you're going to have to reactivate your health buffs because those will last for 30 seconds. So every 3rd rotation of Claw, you're going to need to activate Claw, then your health buffs, and then right back into your rotations for your other buffs. And then the thing with Strat is when you pop this in, it does this, the little animation with his hands, and you can't just break out of it with a weapon attack. So what you do is when you put Claw on, you just clip any power with it and it cancels that animation. So I'll put Claw on and I'll just clip a recharge with it, and it just cancels it and go right back into it. So let's see. So that would be a T3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 arts you're using, and 11 actually if you count P-Stone. 11 arts you'd be using to take full advantage of the highest level of buff trolling you can do. So altogether, I'm gonna like take you through a couple cycles, kind of show you what activating everything looks like. I'm gonna be activating the OMAC, the Heartbreak. I'm gonna be doing the finisher for the energy return. We're gonna pop a supercharge, and we're gonna activate all our health buffs and all that. So what that will look like is starting the fight. We're gonna recharge until Claw goes off cooldown, which is right now. Activate Energy Expulsion here. Get all that power back. Activate Claw. Activate health buffs this time around. Right now. Supercharge. Don't forget to put the helmet on. Didn't pop it this time around because I messed up, but we'll pop it next go when we reactivate Claw right now. Reactivate health buffs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It is a lot to keep this going, and it does get pretty hectic in content sometimes, especially when you're having to do all this and then get objectives and get pickups and stuff. But it's not bad once you get used to it. And I mean, if you're doing all this, I mean, there's just a ton of people that are gonna want you to troll for them all the time, just because. Actually, no, I will show you firsthand right now. Actually, just how much this makes a difference. All right, so we're out in the open world now. This is where you'll really be able to see, because I have all the augments in, so it gives you all the health buffs and stuff when you're in content. So we're sitting at a health of 638k base. This is without any buffs going. So the best combination of buffs you can do is a compound omega and a health cookie. I don't have any health cookies right now. I'm currently saving up my seasonal prize tickets right now to stock up on a bunch of them. But it gives you 5% health with the omega, so you'll be getting 10% extra health. It's obviously going to be better than the soda, but not by very much, just a small amount. So go ahead and pop these consumables here to kind of show you. So it took us from 638 to 681 base K, sorry. This goes from all the way to 681, so alright, so with the buffs popped, we're at 681k. So with everything going, we went up to 187k might and 132k precision.
my face above the water. My feet can't touch the ground, and it feels like I can see the sands on the horizon every time you are not around. I'm slowly drifting away, wave after wave, wave after wave. I'm slowly drifting. It feels like I'm drowning, pulling against the stream, pulling against the stream. Wish I could make it easy, easy to love me, love me. Still I reach to find a way. I'm stuck here in between. I'm looking for the right words to say. I'm slowly drifting, drifting away, wave after wave, wave after wave. Slowly drifting, drifting away. And it feels like I'm drowning, pulling against the stream, pulling against the stream.